Okay, we are live. Hello, everyone, and let's get started. My name is Sergey, and this is our fourth webinar. It will be about automations in Fibery. Actually, I was one of the developers of this area in Fibery, so we decided that I should take the rep for it and handle this webinar. That's why you see me today instead of charming Polina. Some housekeeping info. This webinar will last about 40 to 30 minutes. First, we'll briefly take a look how automations are organized in Fibery. And then we will mostly solve some real-world examples with it. And also, you can ask any questions you like. You can ask questions during the demo. Our customer success hero, Polina, will be in chat, and she will answer some of your questions. Also, after the webinar, I will try to answer some questions as well. We will also, as always, record this webinar and upload it to YouTube. And then we will send you the follow-up as well. All rules we will create here will be in Workspace, and it will be shared with you as well. Okay, let's go. Here we see a list of cases from different areas that we will try to automate today. These areas are software development, project management, product development, CRM, customer success. I believe Fibery can be used in many other areas as well, but at least these are that our customers mostly use Fibery for. All right, most likely we will not be able to cover all these cases, just some of them, but we'll see how it goes. Some words about automations. This is a must-have feature for any work management software, I think. Fibery, with its fluid domain, allows you to dictate the rules of how your data is represented. And with automations, you can delegate repetitive tasks to software instead of doing them manually. As almost every feature in Fibery, it's fully customizable. So you dictate your terms, no hard-coded rules there. All right, so let's see what we got there. Here in our workspace, we have these apps from different areas. Let's see, for example, software development app. It has, like, we work by sprints. It has, we create user stories, implement them, and definitely we have some bugs. Both story and bug have a feature. Here you see story have a feature, and bug has a feature as well. These features live in a separate app, product management. You see it has only one type. All right. Automations in Fibery can be done via two ways, buttons or rules. Both buttons and rules are linked to a type. So as you see here, I open a story type editor screen, and in the bottom, I see two sections, buttons and rules. Today, we will focus mostly on rules, but actually they're quite similar. Like, buttons are a set of actions that you execute manually by pressing the button, and rules are a set of actions that are executed automatically by some trigger. Let's see how interface looks like. So here, like in most of systems, if you have experience with Zapier or Integromat, it should be quite common for you. So here we have two steps. When something happens, execute something. What triggers do we have? So we can subscribe to entity created. So here we create a rule for a story. That's why we see triggers for a story type. Like, we can subscribe to story created, story updated. And also we can subscribe to an entity linked to a story. That means, like, for example, our story have a list of bugs, and I can subscribe to a bug being assigned to a story. or a bug removed from a story. All right, user assigned to a story, user removed from a story. And here we have a set of actions. Like we will not, there are quite a few of them. All right, let's just explore the interface by some example. Let's take this example as the first one. When feature is done, then move all bugs and stories to done. This is actually quite a common example, and some customers asked us how to get this in Fibery. So here, when our feature is completed, it means like we do not care about anything we have in this feature. Bugs, stories, we want to move all them to a done state, just to not blow our backlog or boards with this data. When you see such sentences, when something happens, then do something, it's quite easy to represent them in a rule. So here we see when feature is done. So that means we should subscribe to a change for a feature. So we go to Product Management app and add a rule for a feature type. Here, I want to react when feature is gone to done state. So I subscribe to feature being updated, and I should select a field. In my case, it is a state field, because in Fibery, feature being done means that feature state has changed to done. Right now, I subscribe to all state changes of feature, but I need to subscribe to only those changes when state is done. So I add a filter, select the state field here, and select a particular state, done. All right. So here I've implemented the first part, when feature is done. What do I need to do? I want to close all my bugs and all my stories, move them to a done state. Here in a list of actions, you see actions for a feature. You can create a new one, update those one which you subscribe to, delete it, execute some JavaScript, etc. But also you have actions for collections. Because feature has a collection of bugs, we have actions for bugs, actions for stories as well. So I want to update my bugs. I select update bugs action, select a state, and select done here. So I will move all my bugs to a done state. If I want to move some particular bugs by some filter, I can add it here. As well, I want to move all my stories to a done state. I do similar actions. All right, let's give this rule a name. Here we go, and save it. I will check that everything is okay. Yeah, everything seems okay. Here you see a small gray dot. It indicates that a rule has not been run yet. Also here, you can see the activity for this rule. So it's quite helpful to debug your rules, like to see that if it was executed correctly, or if some errors happen, etc. Right now, it has no activity. It has not been executed yet. Let's check it. I go to some feature that has bugs and user stories, for example, automation feature. It has one story and one bug. I change its state to done and need to wait a bit. Yeah, we see that bug has gone to done state and story has gone to bug state as well. Unfortunately, right now, our leaf notifications feature in Fibery, like when working a bit slow. Yeah, we will fix that on weekends. So right now we have to wait like 2, maybe 3 seconds. It will be faster after several days. All right. I can go to my rule and see its activity. We see that 2 actions were executed. Update bugs and update stories. We see what entities were affected as well here. All right, all good so far. Let's disable it for now so it not interfere with other rules. Let's take another case. Okay, this is done. Let's take another case, this one. If there is a user story on a bug, set a feature from story. All right, what do we want to do here? So we go to software development app where bug and story sit. Both of them have a feature. Story have a feature and bug has a feature as well. Yeah, here. In this rule, we want to have the following. Like, we want a feature of a bug to be inherited from a feature of its story. Imagine like our feature is split to stories. Stories can have bugs, and in that case, we want a bug to have a feature of its story. But bugs can be related to a feature directly. In that case, we just want to be able to set a feature manually. Previously, without automations, we mostly suggested users to create lookups. Like I create a separate field, here I select a story feature, and on the bug, I can see a feature from a story. But this is sometimes not so convenient, because you'll have two fields, and yeah, it's simply not convenient. So that's why we want to synchronize it. Also, such types of rules does not have, this when then statement in it. It's more like synchronization rule. That's why it is a bit more difficult to implement, but let's tackle it. Okay, so my first attempt will be to create the following rule for a bug. When bug is updated, its story field, I want to update this particular bug and set its feature to a feature of this story. I don't want a particular feature from here, so I will use a formula. As you see here in automations, we have formula pop-up similar as you have when creating formula fields. We have the same syntax here, mostly the same capabilities. There are some differences, though. When you work with formula fields, you work with fields of your type that you create formula for. Here, you have this step one bug. What does that mean? So as you see, our when step outputs some results. In our case, it is step one bug. You may ask, what does this step one means? So we have designed it with some future changes in mind. Right now, we have step results only from one step, but in future, we plan that every action, like this action and the following, will output some steps, and you can use them in the following actions. So we believe it will discover some good possibilities. So right here, the step one bug represents the bug that was changed. So what do I want to do? I want to take this bug, take a story from it that was updated, and take a feature from it. So you see, when a story of a bug is updated, I want to set a feature to this bug from its story. Let's give this rule a name as well, and save it. Okay, let's see how it works. I have a list of bugs here. I select some story. Wow, I'm jumping. Okay, it's because of pop-up. And you see, the feature is set automatically. It should be the same feature as our story has here. Data migration to Fibery. Okay, I have a question. What will happen if I remove a story from a bug? Let's check this. Okay, we see that feature is removed as well. Let's look at our rule once again. Here, this rule will be triggered when story is removed from a bug, like the field is set to empty. It is also a change of a story field. In that case, story will be empty, and feature of empty story is empty as well. So it works like expected. Okay, did we complete our task? Well, to some extent, yes. We see that it syncs. But let's see another scenario. I can add a bug from here. And in that case, bug will be created with a story assigned already. To handle this case, I need slightly modify my rule. I want to subscribe not only to a bug updated, but to bug created as well. Let's save it and check that it works. I create some bug here. And we'll need to wait a bit until feature from story is assigned. Yeah, it is. That's that feature, context switching emails. Okay, that works. But what happens if I change the feature on a story? Let's do this. Like change it to automations. You see, feature of a bug is not updated. Definitely it will not, because we haven't created a rule for it. But most likely we want this. So let's fix it. We will create a rule for a story in that case. When a feature field of a story is updated, we want to update our bugs, their feature field, and we'll use a formula once again. We want to set a feature from a story, just like this. Let's give it a name once again. Same name. We can do this because it lives in different type. Save. Right now, when I change a feature, for example, clickbait generator, we should see that the feature of a bug is updated. All right, looks good. Okay, this case is completed as well. Okay, let's try with next case. The feature is ready when all stories and bugs are closed. Here we have this one statement, like we can read it another way. When all stories and bugs are closed, complete the feature. This is also not a simple case. My first naive attempt will be just to do like it says, when story and bugs or bug is closed. So I go to a story and add a rule for it. Like previously, I subscribed to a state change of a story when it is closed. All right. And what do I want to do? I want to update a feature. I want to change its state, but not always, only when all bugs and stories of this feature are closed. So let's try to do it with a formula. In our formula syntax, we have this if statement, right? We check some condition, and we have some expression if it is true, or another expression if condition is false. My condition will be like that. If feature of a story have all stories closed. So I take a stories collection of its feature, yeah, filter them, like the state name, for example, not equal to done, and I count them. So this expression, okay, it will return me the count of stories in feature that are not done yet. If it is more than 0, all right, so not all stories are done, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to change a state of feature. I can just take a state from the current feature, so it will be changed to itself, you know. In other case, so here comes the problem. In other case, I want to do something like this. I want to take all feature states, and take final state from them. Unfortunately, at the moment, we don't have such syntaxes in Fibery. Actually, it is work in progress. I believe in the nearest future, you'll be able to access global every type here as a collection and query it. Like, find some user, find some feature, find some state of feature. But at the moment, it is not possible. Does it mean that we cannot complete our rule? No, actually, we can do it still. How so? So let's see. Let's create a formula for our feature type. I will name it percentage of done. This formula field will return a number from 1 to 100, from 0 to 100, and it will represent what percent of feature are completed. Let's imagine we have a feature and it has like 5 stories and 5 bugs. 4 stories and bugs are done, and 2 and 1 story, 1 bug are not done yet. Let's assume it means that feature is done to 80%. So how to create this formula? I take my stories, filter them, state name is done, take account of them. So this is account of my done stories. I add count of done bugs, take it all in brackets, okay, divide it by total count of stories and bugs. And in the end, multiply it by 100. Select a unit here, like percent, and save it. Okay, let's see how it goes for some feature. For example, what I should take, like clickbait generator, all right? Okay, this is done for 0%. It has 1 bug and 1 story. Both are not in done state, so this is 0. Okay, I change the state here to done. Let's check what happens. Formula is calculated and now it's 50%. Okay, how is this helpful for me? Right now, to complete my task, remember, like when the feature is ready, when all bugs and stories are closed, I can tell it in another way. The feature is ready when it is done for 100%. And this rule is quite easy to implement. I add a rule for a feature, subscribe here this percentage of done field, add a filter when this percentage of done is 100, and I select an action. I want to update my feature and set its state done. Let's give it a name. Okay. And as usual, let's check it. I will close the last bug, and hopefully the feature will be closed as well. Right now it's open. Yeah, its state is changed to done. Good. Let's disable this rule for now. And this state is done as well. This text is highlighted because I've selected it in another tab. So this trick is quite popular in Fibery. If you want to create a formula or a formula in automations or a formula field, and it is quite complex, you may think of splitting it into 2, right? Because if current syntax is not so expressive right now, yeah, splitting into 2 may help a lot. Okay. What is our next state? Let's do something simple from project management. Generate tasks when project moves to a specific state. This one. My project management app consists of project and task, quite simple. And the role will be like that. I copy a name for it right now. Okay. So when project is updated and its state is changed, let's say to like approved, I generate some task. Create. Nope. I don't want to create a project. I want to create a task. Edit task. task item. It's named like this. And let's name it somehow task 1. Let's add another task. Task 2. Just like that. Well, looks quite simple. Let's check it. Well, I move it to approved state and to task. Tasks should appear here. Here is one, here is the second one. All right. Yeah, this is done. Let's mark it as done. All right, this one, due date reminders, also from project management app. So what does that mean? My project type has a due date field. Let's say I want to receive a notification when there are 2 days left before the due date. All right. How can I do that? Right now, here, we do not have these time triggers. It is also work in progress. Actually, in progress, so I believe it will be released like 2 or 3 weeks from now. And here there will be like an item like time trigger, and you will select like run rule, daily, weekly, hourly, just as you wish. But right now it is we don't have this. But with help of formulas, we can complete this task as well. I will create a formula and we'll name it like days till due date. Here I will take a due date field, subtract today from it, and convert the result to days. Okay, let's save it and see what we got here. I have 2 projects with due dates, and this one is -1 because it's already passed. This one is 1 day. Let's make it a bit more, like 3 or 4. All right. Using this field, we can quite easily create a rule for notifications. So when project is updated, this field, days till due date, here I make a filter, days till due date is equal to 2. I cannot select like less or equal to 2 because it will trigger every day. Like formulas with today expression used are calculated once a day, and it will be this formula will trigger, this rule will trigger like when there are 2 days left, 1 day left, 0 days left, -1 days left, etc. So I select equal to 2. And I want to send a notification. I will notify users, will send it to me and Paulina, and we'll give it some subject. The date is coming. Here in the message, we have some template language, like you can use fields from this project being updated, like name is coming. I don't know. Yeah. Let's give it a name. And save it. Right now, if I change this due date, I should receive a notification. Here, formula is recalculated, and here should come my notification. Yeah, you see, name of project is coming. So in this account, I have only in-app notifications turned on, but you can set up email or Slack as you wish. Okay, good. This case is covered as well. Okay, another task I want to cover is set dates based on status. So in project management, in many project management tools, we have like such notion of lead time and cycle time terms. And people mostly, this is like a good practice, people mostly build reports on it, like what is the average cycle time of user story, try to reduce it, etc. In Fibery, we have workflow extension for a type, but we do not have cycle time extension for a type. But you can quite easily emulate it via rules. Let's see how it goes. I go to my story type and create two fields, two date fields. First one will be like in progress date. Date when my story entered in progress state. Another field will be like finish date. Date when my story entered a finish state. So these are ordinary fields, and I will, well, let's disable this rule, and I will fulfill them with a rule. When a story is updated, the state field and the state is in progress, I want to set this field just like this. In progress date. All right, I've created these fields as a date fields. Unfortunately, in Fibery, we cannot change the type of field. I will remove them and make them date time, just for sake, so we can have better granularity, all right? So I create in progress, date, this time, and I create finish date this time as well. All right, so let's repeat it once again. When story is updated, state field is updated. When state is in progress, I want to set my in progress date to now. Here we have in automations, we have this now function. We don't have it in formulas. It will return current date and time. Okay, let's give it a name. Set dates based on status, like in progress. Right. And similarly, we can create second rule, final. The story is updated, state field, and state is done. We can update our final finish date as well and set it to now. Okay, save a rule. Okay, let's go to our stories and show this finish and in progress dates. So right now they are empty, but when I update story state to in progress, this date should be populated, and if I later update it to done, this field should be also populated. And right now I can create a formula for a story and name it like cycle time, right? And it will be this finish date minus progress date. Let's, for the sake of example, let's cast it to seconds, okay? So here I show this cycle time and see that it is 7 seconds. All right, looks good. But also, probably, if my story was somehow reopened, I want to reset this finish date, okay? So I can create another rule, like reset finish date. And for example, say like if story state is updated and this state is not done, then I set a finish date to empty. Here we have a special option. I just add this rule because I want to show you this option, clear field value. Okay, save it. And when I reopen my story to in progress, for example, this finish date should be reset. Yeah, works good. Okay, so we have handled this case as well. All right, so I believe 30 minutes has passed. So let me briefly tell you what are our plans for this area. As I have told, we will add time triggers, and this is work in progress, so it will be released quite soon. Another thing that we are working on is those possibility to query in formulas. Let's see how it will look like. It is already released under flag, but we're waiting for some first and last functions in formula, because without them it will be not so useful. So here, when I add a formula here, all right, I will not have only this step one story and all the functions, but I also will get access to all types in my system, like projects. And I, for example, can select for example, if I create a task, I can immediately assign it to like most important project. Maybe this doesn't make sense. Okay, we can assign a task to a person who is less busy in our company by some criteria. Okay, we can like users, there will be like filter, yeah, or sort function, sort by some criteria, and then take first of it, first user, like the least busy user. Right now, this first function is not available yet. When it will be, we will remove this flag, and this feature will be available for everybody. All right. I believe this is it for today. Let me look through questions if we have something not answered. Okay, I see Paulina. It works as some template like start and states to prevent excessive manual works, like start and in states. Yeah, right now we don't have templates. Like probably, so we can have templates within apps. Yeah. So for example, we have apps that we ship with product. Yeah, and at the moment there are no rules, I believe. If I go to app and templates, but I don't know if we have any apps with rules already installed, but it is an option. If you share, for example, an app, rules will be shared as well. So this is some kind of templating we can. Okay, there are ask a question sections. I'm thinking of the following scenario. Okay, I will read it loud. I'm thinking of the following scenario. Major bug is filed by a customer. To address the major bug, several stories need to be created. Stories span different areas of the product, touches several features. All right, several features. In the above scenario, there is a many-to-one relationship between bug and the story. Note that I'm not looking to solve a specific problem. I'm trying to understand how to solve similar many-to-one scenarios that may surface in the future. So in your case, as I see, you have quite the opposite. You have many stories for one bug, and it is related to many stories at the same moment. Yeah, like one major bug you create many stories, and all of them are linked to this particular bug. So direction is the opposite. But in this case, but in this case, your bug. Okay, what are we talking about? Like this bug. We are talking about the rule when feature of a bug is inherited from a story. But in that case, this is just not this case. Your bug is not related to a feature. It is related to many features. You can create a lookup, and you will see all the features that your bug to set in the feature of a bug. Yeah, I got it. But in that case, if your bug has many stories, opposite direction, then like it has many features, all right? Because the stories, as you tell, can be from different features. So in that case, I believe you just so you don't have a feature field on a bug, yeah? You have a collection of features on a bug. Yeah, and via lookup, you can definitely see all features that this bug relates to, like just like Matthew suggests. Oh, all right. Set of automations. Aha, I see. To set of automations pick and place at need. So will be a GitHub for buttons and actual usage. Yeah, I see that. But you see, this idea is about sharing some place for sharing useful automations. In case of buttons, we mostly share, domain agnostic buttons like duplicate. All right, but there were some buttons for time tracking as well, which required some time fields. Yeah, I guess it is popular. It is possible. I don't know. We need to think about it. Yeah, like together. I see together inspiration, like some popular examples. Yeah, maybe we can have a public workspace where everybody can see like useful automations. We'll think about it. Thank you. Yeah, Polina tells us the same. I don't find a choice, then convert to in the rule show. Transform. If I agree to implement an idea, then I want to transform it to a story. The same way I want to keep my idea, change the status into accepted, and new story will appear. Okay, you miss the convert action, yeah, in a list of actions. I see, yeah. We do miss this action, and actually nobody like asked for it, but yeah, it is like something that we missed. Actually, it is quite easy to add such action. Just you forgot about it. So I'll talk to the team. Probably we will add it. There we will need a special UI. Like you select convert. There will you see a drop down like on board where you select a type you want to convert to. Yeah, it is. It's not a problem. I will talk to a team about it, and probably we will add it. Just we'll see at which place in the backlog it will go. Yeah, we will discuss it with the team. Thank you. Okay, can I send actions to external systems? Yeah, good question. We designed automations with this in mind. Right now, it is not popular, like only notifications, but like the system itself is ready to, to introduce in external systems. Like Just we are thinking at first about systems that are integrated already into Fibery, like GitHub, like Intercom, like what we have here, GitLab, HubSpot. I don't know. Yeah, but it will take some time. It mostly depends on how much requests will it gather. At the moment, everything is popular via script, via JavaScript. I know it is a pain to write JavaScript, especially in a system, in a sandbox environment, like in Fibery, because you cannot easily debug it like you do it in IDE, etc. But right now, so if it's like a great pain for you, you can add a JavaScript, maybe ask some help for us. But if you want to send something to GitHub, like create a pull request, etc., you won't need like knowledge of our script runtime. You will just need a knowledge of GitHub API. So at the moment, this is a workaround I can suggest. Okay. Matthew, I'm assuming you can't pass a lookup field value as okay. This is the last question. Can we pass a lookup field value as a variable in step 1 to set relation values in step 2? Pass a lookup value. Wow, could you please expand it a little bit? Because expand scenario a little bit. Because I don't fully get it. A lookup field. Unfortunately, I don't get it. What does it mean to pass a lookup as a variable? You have a lookup for a field value on a sprint. Okay, got it. What's next? I want to create a transaction. By step 2, you mean okay, what rule do you have? What rule do you want to have? Like if a lookup field change it, then create something? If a lookup field value and pass a lookup field value from sprint to transaction. So if a rule looks like this, for example, when a lookup on a sprint is changed, you want to create a transaction. Then you definitely can use this lookup value when fulfilling fields for a transaction. It will be like simply step 1, change it sprint, step 1 sprint dot your lookup field. If it what you mean, if I get it correctly. Yeah, Sasha asks if can do that by as a recipes through JS custom code. Yes, that's correct. You can integrate with other services via their API through JS code. The only thing that is not convenient there that you should write your token, authorization mechanics into this script. But like everybody who has access to this rule will see your token. But I don't know, mostly it was not a problem for our customers. Yeah, actually, maybe Polina has told that already. We have a special section, automations, in our community. And we always look there and try to help. Chris answers correctly. And you can post the questions there, and we will for sure answer them. You can vote for some some feature requests there as well. Like always, nothing new here. But community, right now we look to community quite often. Yeah, we try not to miss something there. So you may hope for a quick reply. Not immediate, but a quick one. All right, so probably that is it for today. So subscribe to our community, our Twitter, to our newsletter. Like always, was really glad to see you guys all here. And well, see you next time then. Bye.